Hello. I got a few questions about how to make stills for social media, so I'm going to do a quick tutorial on that. There's a couple of different ways. I'll start from the avatar creator, because this is where you'll be making your characters, right? So, uh, as I mentioned, you can, start from a default character. Or let's do that actually. Let's make two default characters here. Let's say we want these two. Now I'm going to want to change their outfits a little bit. Put this one on. Do something different here. Okay, let's say I have these two. Put some different shoes in this one. That's not good. These ones, okay. You see that the eyeline of these characters is looking at the camera. I have it set up like that. So if you look at the two characters here, and you go to the details panel, you see I have the look at the camera, and that means it's looking at the active camera. I'll switch one off and keep one on. You see that now only one looks at the camera. So now I'm going to do a pose. I'm going to use the avatar settings for that. The way this works is that these poses here, so I go to poses, body layer, and here you have a bunch of different poses, right? So I'm going to move this one up a little bit because it's on the floor. Again, I'm going through these, toggling through my transforms by tapping space. I can also hit end and it will snap to the floor. So I'm going to turn her like this, and I'm going to give this one a pose as well. You see that by default it's on an animation idle, but since I want to make poses, you can also just freeze an animation idle. So say you like this one here and you can't find a pose for it, you can freeze that. You see, so there's a pause button here, and that freezes the animation. It will freeze the animation of everything in the scene though, but there's also another way by using the timeline, but I'm gonna do it I'm gonna do it in here for now because it's the quickest way of doing that. So for now I'm gonna go to the poses. I want to have two cute kind of characters. As I mentioned, there's a lot of stuff in here, but let's say I want to have two of them like standing like this. I'll reposition her to be here. Boom. Okay, turn her around a little bit. Okay, so now I, obviously have very deadpan kind of expressions on their faces, which is not a nice look. And you see this one is still trying to find the active camera and look at it. So for my facial expression, I go to the facial layer and I go to facial poses, and here you have a lot of different poses. You can take all and say I want to have a excited one for this one, and in this one I want to have a facial pose, happy, and you can kind of just click through these and you'll see what you'll get. Let's say maybe I like this one. So now I have these two poses. If I go to my scene, well, you can actually at any moment in time you can make like a render image by pressing this. But I'm going to do that in the scene because I have a bit more screen space and so on. So let's say I want to have her look at the camera as well. I go here and I say look at camera. So now both of them are looking at the camera. I can also take a target, for example. Let's say we do that. Let's say we're gonna take a some kind of mesh here, Just take an example here. Let's say we have a box sitting here. Make it a bit smaller. And say if I want both of them to look at this cube, I can do camera, target, and then select this target. So now she's looking at the target. I can do the same thing for her. So now when I move that target, you know, you see that their heads are moving as well. So you can really kind of direct basically where you want them to look at, and if this target is in the way, this cube for example, you can switch that to invisible. So now you don't have that cube in your way, but they're still looking at it, as you can see. So next thing is, like, let's make a render. The way we do that, first I'm going to look at my preferences, and I'm going to see that my screenshot path is here. It's in the replicant folder, and this is the resolution that I want. You can kind of give it a name and say whatever the time is. I'm leaving that on default, and this resolution is good for me. So now I basically click this, so I'll get my camera that I like, and I'll press render image. So it's now rendering a shot here, and if I go to that directory, which is what I'll show you now, that would be here, screenshots, you see that I have a nice picture of the two characters, what I just wanted, and it's a nice high resolution, as you can see. So yeah, you can use that easily for your social media. Now let's say you want to go and do something with this, with these characters. What you can do, and it says actually when you hover over this, hold Alt renders an image with an alpha channel. So I'll select her, for example. I hold Alt, and now I click this, and when I go back to my screenshots, you'll see that I should be having her with an alpha channel. So let me see what happened here. PNG. Let me take this one. Alt. Let me see here. Okay, so let me see how that looks in Photoshop. Normally it actually pops up like this here, so I'm going to take a look. And there's no alpha channel. Okay, so got a little bug here. Let me try that again. Okay, so yeah, that's a little bug. But yeah, hopefully you can have some fun with like making these characters and try different poses and so on. That's it for now.